facility is completed, it will be the state-of-the-art adolescent and children hospital in the English-speaking Caribbean and possibly in the Caribbean overall. It will offer a wide range of services and it will certainly improve the quality of life of our young people, our children and adolescents.
That's Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Auburn Hill, is urging Jamaican business operating overseas to ensure they obey the business rules and conventions of those countries. He says people and entities in business should play by the rules as they grow and expand, adding that the same is expected of international companies operating in Jamaica.
Make sure you follow the right law in every country you operate. If you want to go to Britain, you go to the United States, you go to Trinidad, you go to Guyana, you play by the rules. Because anybody who comes here, we want them to play by the rules.
That's Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Auburn Hill. Secretary General of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Dr. Mark Nicely, is denying that members are fleeing the organization in droves. This after a controversial memorandum from the Jamaica Teachers Association issued under his hand withdrawing the C's deduction form used by teachers looking to cut ties with the union. The form is used by teachers to signal that dues should no longer be withdrawn from their salaries and sent to the JTA. He's, however, denying an exodus of members, saying the number of those leaving is in keeping with normal attrition. Dr. Nicely says, as far as he's concerned, it's business as usual at the near 60-year-old association. Now, on Monday, Dr. Nicely sent a memo to JTA members doubling down on the decision to withdraw the C's deduction form. He says the withdrawal of the form is not equivalent to the JTA barring members who wish to terminate their membership from doing so. Now, the 5 Burger King employees accused of stealing approximately $10 million from its Harborview branch in St. Andrew have been charged. It is understood that the employees were charged by the fraud squad over the Easter weekend. The exact charges are not known at this time. The employees, including a supervisor, were arrested last week after they were caught on camera dividing stolen cash inside the facility. It is understood that the fraud was committed over a 2-month period. Now, interest rates in major economies are expected to fall to pre-pandemic levels because of low productivity and aging populations. That's according to a forecast by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. The IMF said increases in borrowing costs are likely to be temporary once high inflation is brought under control. The Bank of England has been raising interest rates since December 2021, taking them from 0.1% to 4.25%. Central banks in the UK, the US, Europe, and other nations have been lifting interest rates to combat the pace of rising prices, otherwise known as inflation. Now, in the UK, inflation is at its highest for nearly 40 years because of rising energy prices and soaring food costs. A number of factors are fueling inflation, including Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has helped drive up energy costs. However, in a blog, the IMF said that recent increases in real interest rates are likely to be temporary. Finally, the UN Food Agency said on Monday it urgently needs $800 million for the next 6 months to help Afghanistan, which is at the highest risk of famine in a quarter of a century. Aid agencies have been providing food, education, and health care support to Afghans in the wake of the Taliban takeover of August 2021 and the economic collapse that followed it. But distribution has been severely impacted by a Taliban edict last December banning women from working at national and international non-governmental groups. The UN was not part of this ban, but last week it said that the Taliban-led government has stopped Afghan women from working at its agencies in the country. Authorities have yet to comment on the restriction. Now, the World Food Programme, WFP, said women aid workers play a vital role in delivering the the agency's food and nutrition assistance, and that it will make every possible effort to keep this going while also trying to ensure the active involvement of female staff. Now, that's all the time we have for news. My name is Garfield Jones.
USA News, I'm John Schaefer. Louisville police have released the police body cam footage from yesterday's mass shooting in a downtown Louisville bank.
I think I got him down. I think he's down.
The footage shows police moving in while encountering heavy gunfire, then shooting and killing the 25-year-old suspect. Police say after the gunman killed 5 people and injured 8 others, he waited in the bank lobby to ambush police. Washington, D.C. police say a shooting outside a funeral home in the northeast part of that city was a targeted attack.
It's unfortunate that someone would be so brazen to do such an act, let alone at a funeral. I mean, how low can you be?
D.C. Police Chief Robert Conti says 4 people were shot and 1 person is dead. The suspect is still at large. A lawsuit has been filed by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg to keep House Republicans from interfering in his case against former President Trump. Bragg would like a judge to invalidate subpoenas that have been or will be issued by Congressman Jim Jordan as part of an investigation into the DA's handling of the Trump case. China may be preparing to launch a war against Taiwan. That's according to the Taiwanese foreign minister. Joseph Wu told CNN that China's military exercises simulating joint precision strikes on Taiwan has the smaller country wondering whether China is going to make a real move on it. Wu condemned Beijing for the threat. The Pentagon says they will get to the bottom of a U.S. intelligence leak and find the source behind it.
I've been convening senior department leaders daily on our response, and I've directed an urgent cross-department effort.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the Department of Justice has also opened a criminal investigation into the leak. The documents that have been leaked online cover a range of issues, including sensitive information that's related to Russia's war against Ukraine. This is USA News. The Biden administration has a plan to stop the flow of fentanyl into the United States. It includes sanctions to financially cripple illegal drug syndicates in Mexico and a ramping up of efforts to target money laundering activity related to drug trafficking. The Biden administration has also announced a $5 billion program to accelerate the development of next-generation COVID-19 vaccines and treatments.
Project NextGen will cut across government agencies and involve public and private collaborations with 3 primary goals: develop a nasal vaccine that will hopefully prevent infection as well as severe disease, develop longer-lasting vaccines, and create broader vaccines that protect against all variants and several different coronaviruses. It will also include funding to develop more durable